Hello everyone, good morning. So today we are going to go straight and chat with one of our favorite challenger, and not the first time that she's doing a challenge in the HeARTation community as well. But before we do that, let me welcome my partner in self-compassion. Good morning, Priya.
Morning, everyone. Morning, Joy.
How are you feeling today with your psychedelic thought?
I feel chic. I feel retro. I feel though. It's a good start to a Friday morning. So yep.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's quite a treat, I think, to start the morning, start our day with this very heartful conversation that we're about to have. Yeah. So now let's welcome our special guest today. Good morning, Mei Theng.
Good morning, Joy. Good morning, Dr. Priya.
Morning.
So does it feel like a reunion of some sort?
Yes, a virtual one.
Yeah, a virtual one.
Yes, right. It's been a while. Okay, so let's dive straight in. So I just want to recap, or just to remind everyone, since we're going to talk about the self-compassion challenge, I think it's nice for us to have some recap about what exactly is self-compassion. So here we are defining self-compassion. It's our ability to extend compassion to ourselves when we perceive ourselves as failing or being inadequate or suffering. Dr. Christine Neff has broken down self-compassion into three main components, which are self-kindness, mindfulness, and common humanity. Self-kindness here refers to our ability to be gentle with ourselves, to be understanding, rather than to treat ourselves harshly with judgment or being critical whenever we perceive ourselves as failing or suffering. And also the ability to recognize our common humanity, meaning to recognize that in this experience of life, everyone suffers, no one's unique. Our suffering might seem different, but at the end of the day, we all suffer. It is the human condition. Personally, for me, common humanity, this component has been very powerful because when you're in the dark space, it's easy to think that you alone suffer. And last but not least, of course, the element of mindfulness, having that self-aware, being able to hold our experience, whatever the experience we're having in that moment in life, holding it in balanced awareness rather than ignoring it or suppressing it or exaggerating the situation, to be able to see it for what it is without the need to go either direction. So there you have it. That's the three components for self-compassion, which are self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. So us coming together, Dr. Priya, Mei Theng, and me, is not something new. We have done that. I've interviewed Mei Theng last year for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and then after that we did a forum together with Jonah as well. So I just thought that it would be a nice touch to actually share this. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Is it not moving? Okay. So this is what we did last year during the forum. And I hope that the sound works. Let me know if you can hear this. There was this very moment which I would consider is like the highlight for me, where Mei Theng, you were talking about, I think, how challenging it is because everybody seems to perceive that, you're strong, so you'll be fine, right? If you remember that moment, Mei Theng, I said, oh, I'll be fine, so don't worry about it. And so this is the part where you say, fingers crossed, we can hear it. So let me know if you can hear the sound. Oops, wait.
In the negativity.
Can you hear?
But that's fine because, I think every individual is different and how they see their condition is up to them. But our role as a community, as family, as the supporting factors, I think we need to see those signs, and always be there to give encouragement. Encouragement is very important. Encouragement in any form. When meeting you said about financial, financial. I think it's very important that people around you ask you simple things like can I help you financially? Is your insurance covering this and those kind of things. I think it's all these little things that people don't take into account. I think the most common thing that we say is, "Are you okay? Are you okay now? Will you be fine? Do you need any help? Do I need to go get something for you?" I think these are all very minute things, but I think these are things that you can manage or you have the answers to. But the bigger things, the bigger things need addressing. So emotional well-being is very important.
I think research have shown that relationship is is the biggest influencing factor for a person's well-being. So be it the breast cancer patient themselves or the caregivers or family members and friends of breast cancer patient, I think would do well to bear in mind that relationship makes a huge difference for somebody's well-being, and you can support the breast cancer patient by giving your presence, giving your support during their challenging time. What about mating? What kind of myth do you think that we should be clarifying here?
So as I'm hearing the Priya's thoughts, right? Actually, a lot of things came into my mind. So I'm the oldest in my family, and I often seem very strong among my friends, actually. So even when I have told my friend that I have breast cancer, they are very confident that I will get through this, without asking me how am I feeling. And during the course of my treatment, especially during chemotherapy, because all of them has a lot of horror story about chemotherapy, right? So when they see me, say, "Oh, you look well. You don't look like you're sick." Actually, I often feel quite awkward when they say that. Actually, I know how the image of what people have, and I feel that sometimes looking almost like a healthy person doesn't mean that I'm doing okay. I wish there were more people asking me, or how can they help me? Instead of telling me that yes, you can do it, you will get through it, you will be fine. Because by them saying so, they never give me a chance to explain. Like personally for myself, when I was going through the treatment, I find that it's very difficult to remain strong when your strength is not there. I was physically weakened by the treatment, but I was so used to doing a lot of things for my family, especially because I have a young child. My young girl is very young, it's almost 4, and my mom has very bad osteoarthritis, so very bad knees. So I was almost feeling guilty that I wasn't strong enough to help them. I wish there were people coming to me and say that. What are the things that can help you so that okay, I don't have a physical strength to cope. Maybe I can do that for you. I'm sorry about this. So sometimes really, even when you're visiting your friend and you know that your friend has breast cancer and she looks like she's doing well, don't assume, or even say your friend has lose weight because of the treatment, don't assume that she is very bad and you need to, don't let your own feeling and judgment take over the patient herself. Ask her how is she feeling. Don't look on the surface, because a lot of the mental health issue that we experience, it doesn't always show on the face. You can't really tell, and it really does affect everyone, no matter your age, no matter your socio-economic background is. It really doesn't matter. Everyone faces a different form of stress or a stressor, because we're all different. We all have different desires. We all want to reach for different aspirations.
Okay, so that was the backdrop. That was the backdrop of how we already, in my own way, went very deep into this healing journey together. So as far as I'm concerned, when I first started this challenge, and I kept inviting Mei Theng to join all the different challenges, because in my heart I wanted to have a level 2, okay, so we've talked about it, we've been very open and vulnerable about it. What's next? And I felt that the 7 days challenge was a great place for us to have a reunion, right? But we're coming from a place of healing and power beyond because we opened the conversation and it felt a bit like incomplete. So I feel very happy. Means a lot to me today for us to come together, but this time we're discussing something related to it, but from a very different place, where we're talking from a place of action, from a place of healing. We have done all this thing for 14 days together, and this is our experience. And to go the next level, and again, we're doing it together, individually and together. And I feel like it's really such a place of power. So I felt it was meaningful for us to be reminded that was where we started, and look at where we are today. So I think it's really powerful. Mei Theng, it's been a while, I guess, since you saw that conversation, and yourself sharing those things, which again, we really salute you for your courage. And you're showing courage again in a very different way this time, by taking action, caring for yourself, whether there is social support or not, but you are showing up this time with self-compassion. And based on your sharing the last 1 week plus, you are very determined to do this for yourself, and take good care of yourself for a change beyond taking care of other people. So we went from that point to where you are today. So watching that, how are you feeling?
Watching my sharing just now, right, it really ties in with the self-compassion challenge that I'm doing, because I can see a lot of themes. Like I can reflect that and think, oh, what is that root cause, to having all these kind of ideals, or the emotion that it caused. I can see a lot of relationship. So, and I believe this is why I'm doing the self-compassion challenge. I think when I was reading when you were explaining just now the 3 parts of self-compassion, right? So there's self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. For me, I feel that I have achieved common humanity. Mindfulness is half, but the self-kindness part is totally zero.
I think that's very powerful self-awareness, when you can zero in, okay, I'm lacking in this area, and this area I'm good, right? So that's why I really love the 3 components. Because when you talk about self-compassion, it can be too abstract, too broad. Like, where do we begin? Like, what should I be looking at? That's the other reason why I wanted to do 7 days challenge. Same thing for mindfulness. Okay, I understand this, what everybody's talking about this, but exactly what it is one of those things where you understand but you don't understand. And I thought, like, bite-sized task, 7 days challenge is where it makes it more approachable in your life. It's more tangible in your mind. And I myself have been quite humbled to see the power of 7 days challenge. Was just like an idea in my head, but I see it manifest in other people's life the last 3 months, and I'm like, whoa, like we're really onto something very powerful and very practical. So and that's also why we encourage everyone to do the self-compassion assessment right from the start, before you do the challenge, ideally. And then you can do it again either at the end of the challenge or 1 month later, and see whether the needle has moved, what has changed, what caused the change. That's very powerful self-awareness. What remains the same? What should I do next? So you see, there's so many ways that we can see what's the next best step for us. We don't have to guess. We can use science to our advantage. We can use practical technique, and I think also very significantly, we can have a like-minded community to support us. Who says we have to do this by ourselves? So Mei Theng, what was your goal when you started on this self-compassion challenge? When I was so happy when you finally said, yes, I'm joining.
So after that sharing session last October, right? I was constantly having joint pains, and initially I was supposed to have a PET scan. after I complete my whole treatment this April. But because of my continuous complaint of joint pain, my oncologist offered me to have the PET scan ahead of schedule. So I remember telling my oncologist that I am very aware of how cancer can be. Okay, I told her that even if my cancer progresses, I still want to catch it early, because I feel that even if it progresses to maybe at one stage, I have more options if I can detect it early. So I went for the PET scan, and luckily the result was good. There was no sign of cancer. And I can really tell you, at that time, I can feel the powerful sign. Because before the PET scan, whenever I have a joint pain, I will ask myself, oh, is this more severe than before? Is this a new area? There were a lot of questions in my mind. But when I saw the PET scan result that there was no sign of cancer, automatically I feel that the joint pain has reduced very dramatically. It's like I know it's there, but then I know, okay, maybe it's a side effect of the drug, but it's okay because I only have a few more sessions to go. So, all right, I don't really feel it anymore. And then in early this year in January, I have my annual mammogram, and same thing. There was no new lump. There's no sign of cancer. So I was really feeling very positive about my prognosis actually from this time on. But the only thing that I was confused was, where do I go from here? I will have a continuous period of follow-up, of course, which I have to follow diligently just to catch anything. But do I want to live in fear? Should I stop my life because I'm afraid that my cancer might come back? So I started to feel that I maybe I need to do something like a compassion thing, but I don't really know how to do it. But during the last Big Bad Wolf book sales, right, I bought this book called Hard Work, The Path of Self-Compassion. The thing is that I have this book, but I haven't read. I only started about a few days ago, because there are actually tasks in this book that I have to do. Without even reading the content, I actually felt that it was like a big mountain to climb. So I actually procrastinated. Then I thought maybe the second best thing was that I signed up for this course. So it was offered by a friend of mine. So she will teach about compassionate communication and how to disentangle your emotional blocks through art. I have 6 months to complete that course, and same thing, I procrastinated. I felt that it was like maybe impossible to do, or maybe I wasn't ready to do it yet. So I didn't go and check out the content actually to find if is it really that challenging, Then when I did the mindfulness challenge last month with Joy and Cordelia, I realized that the daily task that was given was really bite-sized, really achievable. You can set about 10 to 30 minutes, of your day to do it. So that's why I decided that, if it's going to be the same format, I think it's achievable if I join this challenge this month, the self-compassion one. Yep.
Thank you,
So,
Mei Theng.
luckily I'm right.
Yeah, I'm so happy because that was exactly why we have 7 days challenge. So I just feel so thrilled to see that, it being manifested in your life. So what are your thoughts, Priya?
Yeah, so I liked it when you, first and foremost, you could pinpoint Christine Neff's 3 concepts. So out of that, you resonated very well with the common humanity and probably a little bit of mindfulness. And the self-kindness part was something that, you just found it missing. So saying that, I think this is a very apt time for you to, sit and discover yourself. And I think the main thing is, when you were talking about your PET scan and how you were very relieved that you did not have a relapse. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like nobody wants a relapse in your CA. So, and I think that is knowing the fact that that your prognosis is getting better and not worse. Okay, that's probably the first thing that I believe that got you onto this right path of coming into courses, and your courses were like triggered by going into artwork, and like just now I saw what you did with the mandala art and the crochet, or your little projects. Yeah, maybe you can show it up. Yeah. So these were all like good vibes coming from you. And when I think the part that I really got touched when you said you had these joint pains, and these joint pains automatically, I wouldn't say it went off, it disappeared from your thoughts. You were conditioning yourself, you were conditioning yourself to believe that you're okay. So before this, the thought process was, I have the joint pain, it's so painful, and you are physically feeling the pain, you're mentally feeling the pain. Turn that thing around after your prognosis, which was a very positive prognosis, and suddenly the mental state has come back to a point where you can accept the fact that you have the joint pain. So it's conditioned your mind, telling you, this is called classical conditioning. So you've told yourself that I don't have the joint pain anymore, I'm fine. But technically it's still there. I mean, it's still there. Okay, so that's one thing out of your list, and you're actually like going on the path of self recovery, self discovery, which is what brings you here to the self compassion challenge in the first place, because it's discovering yourself. Okay, it's able to forgive yourself, and embrace yourself as it is. Okay, with all your imperfections, these characters make you perfect. So I liked it when you could automatically disconnect and condition yourself to embrace the positive things that are happening in your life. Okay, instead of probably picking on the nitty gritty things of, I have a joint pain and stuff like that. So it was very nice when you shared that, because it's like all these little details, okay, that I see, and then I realized that, oh yeah, you know what, so Mei Theng really knows what she wants. Okay, so she's coming into this challenge because she knows that she needs to improve in this area, and that area was self-kindness, self-compassion. So it was a very well put sharing for me. Yeah, how you actually you're always been a very interesting person. All the comments that you've written on our Facebook group, on our HeARTation platform, I just totally enjoyed the way you look at things. Your outlook is very, very unique. So and sometimes I learn from you. I learn from you, and I even say like, oh, how come I never looked at it in that way? Oh, this is a very interesting point of view. So making you are learning from us, yes, but we too are learning from you. And I think it's a two-way street communication here, and that's very important. Okay, because that is how we empower and we help each other out. Yeah.
Yes.
So bravo.
Thank you, Dr.
And
Ria.
I guess that is the power of community, right? We're learning from one another. Nobody feels like I'm alone. If you feel a bit low today, just hang out in the HeARTation Facebook group more. There's always someone who will reply and comment to what you're saying. So it's really great, and I love that we have a community. So we don't feel like we're doing this by ourselves. We're doing inner work, but we're doing it together. We're doing it collectively. So I think at this point, I love how also you're very intentional when you come in. It wasn't random. You're not coming from a place of, I don't know what is this, never mind, I joined. But you're very clear, okay, this is the reason why I joined. This is my next step. What do I do now? So I am physically safe, but then what do I do? It will always be a never-ending battery of tests. So do I always live in fear? No, I don't want to do that. Then what should I do? Oh, there is this challenge. Okay, let's do that. I think that's my next step. So I love that. There's so much clarity there. And I think the power of intention is very evident here. So at this point, I thought that would be nice to share one challenge that you did for the mindfulness challenge. And you said that, I think it's a really great example how you've been shifting from focusing on the negative to the positive. So you mentioned that about your knee joint pain. I think you did the same thing about a different body part. And you felt also, this time you felt appreciation for your hands. Remember that task? Yes. Okay, so this is what you shared. So you were saying how you were having some pain but you, because of the day's task, then you kind of, your perspective shifted and you decide that, oh, I want to express gratitude to my hands instead of feeling frustrated, be grateful that I even have hands. So I think this was a sharing that really moved me. I was quite amazed when you shared this. I was like, wow, it's I think that also, like, I think Drona also started saying, oh, I appreciate my hands more. So I was loving that chain effect, which is again coming back to the power of community. So here we can see, we can slowly trace your journey, right, from last year to here, January, February, March. So it's so such an honor for me to witness this growth in yours. It's really humbling for me and really helped me also. I have to say thank you, Mei Theng. You motivate me to keep going. I have bad days like everyone else. Where, okay, why am I doing this? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? But then when I see a feedback like that from you, open, vulnerable feedback, I feel like this is why I do what I do. And so thank you, Mei Theng. What has been how has the experience been like for you about being so intentional in cultivating this compassionate relationship with yourself?
I really enjoy all the tasks. I wouldn't say that I managed to do all of them, especially the ones that comes on the weekends are a bit difficult for me to complete because of the time that I have to share with my girl. But I feel that whenever I complete one of these tasks, right, it feels like a small win for me. Because sometimes I feel that we all often so focus on having bigger achievements. And when we think about it, these achievements are usually set by the society, it's like having academic excellence, career advancement, earning your first pot of gold, I don't know, having a big house, buying a new car, things like that. These are all the wins that are defined by society, But ever since, actually since I started my cancer treatment, I started celebrating small wins, and these wins are defined by myself. Maybe I managed to cook a new dish. I feel very happy about it, especially when I see my family members enjoying it so much. Or that I have learned a new hobby. I took up loom knitting last year, and then now I'm actually crocheting. I just feel like all these things are my wins, that these are the wins that define my life. They are not set by someone else. So yeah, that's why I really enjoy. I think throughout this period, I can feel that my mood are usually more on the happier side.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's exactly the.
And I start telling my friends too, because I know that some of my friends are going through problems in their life, like maybe their business. And I remember telling one of my friends, I know that his business has has gone to smaller scale, and now it's probably more on a survival mode. And although I understand that actually a lot of businesses now are on survival mode, but I actually told him that actually it's a good thing you're still surviving, and you're still trying to move along until everything improves, and that is already a good achievement. It's something worth celebrating. So I think sometimes around this time now, if you're owning a business, it's very disheartening to see your business falls. Yep.
Yes. Thanks, Mei Theng. That's exactly what this platform is. Okay, it's for you to rediscover yourself, as I mentioned before. Okay, and celebrating your wins, as you said.
Yes.
As usual, your take is always very unique. And I'm glad that you chose this self-compassion challenge. Okay, for you to be kinder to yourself, for you to appreciate yourself more. Okay, and all those little things or tasks or challenges that Joy and myself have been, putting out on our videos every day. Okay, they may seem like very simple tasks, but it gets you thinking. Okay, and it motivates the gray matter of yours to, okay, is this how I should treat myself? It's a learning process. So
Yes.
Some of it might be a physical challenge where you physically do things. Okay, some of it might be more of a thinking kind of a thing where you actually enter into your thought process and you question yourself, you reframe, reflect. And I think many of Joy's tasks were wired in that manner. All right, and whenever we get feedback from the participants of the challenges, and when we see how they look at things, and everyone's perception is different of how they have undergone that particular task. So when I read it, or when Joy, I think when you read it as well, it's amazing how the same task is perceived by so many people in so many different ways. And for me, that is really wonderful, because I know we are doing something right, you know. And in that process, having said that, it's a learning platform for me as well, because as much as I also crafted all these tasks, it's like, you know, I see myself better and clearer. Okay, Mei Theng, I think one of the things I would like to share with you is on our second day, the task was, you know, to eat the fruit that you like and to be mindful of your eating. And, there were so many comments coming in from others. And I think the one that I liked the most was yours. Because, the way you explained about eating that guava, and, suddenly I was actually craving for a guava. And I was like, no, I need to go get this guava. I mean, it's like, that the way you embrace the whole challenge so positively, and I think I felt that, oh, you know what, my work is done. I'm so happy someone really is benefiting from this in their own way. And of course, my mission was to go the next day to the market and get a guava and all the other fruits that everyone explains so explicitly, the taste and the smell and all that. But the thing is, I feel, it is the sharing that makes it even more special, because I come back to my first point when I was saying this now, is like, it's worth it. It's worth it what we're doing. It's worth it to see so much of difference in the person from the time they first joined, and then you see that whole experience being translated till day 7 or day 14. Okay, and you see that the person has grown in all these days. For me, that is a reward. For me, that is, I feel so blessed and happy that, people are benefiting from this, the community, people like yourself meeting, and then you brought Eileen on board, which is, even amazing, because her sharing has also been very insightful. And my contacts as well, and whoever's come and shared their stories, it's just truly a very good platform, to exercise all our thoughts and ideas, and have that support, continuous support to each other. So yes, this is the idea behind this challenge.
Right. What I really like that in this challenge, right, both you and Joy, right, you have given us a lot of tools. For example, like when I said just now, to celebrate small wins, usually I do it very inwardly, it's like more mentally. Like in my mind, I'll say yes, I do it, kind of thing, but I don't express it physically or in action. So when Joy say about talking about physical self-soothe, about maybe like patting myself on the back, for showing up, or hugging myself, I felt that was like the physical act of demonstrating how to celebrate small wins, And then last night I finally did the progressive muscle relaxation, and it felt so good, because here's a tool that a series of exercises that we can do it on our own to relax our muscles. We don't have to book a massage session, or we have to get a massage chair in the house, but we can just do it by ourselves. Then it becomes like there's no excuse of keeping that tension in your muscles.
Absolutely, yes. That is the whole idea of it, Yeah, because every muscle part of our body actually absorbs the stress, this tension. So the idea of PMR is to actually de-stress that particular muscle. Sometimes your probably upper body feels more stressed than usual, or sometimes for some of us the lower body. So PMR focuses on all these areas, different parts or anatomical parts of your body where you feel stressed out the most. And so the entire experience is more meaningful if you do it from feet up, like how I did it and I showed in the video. You can even do it head down. Okay, but if you do it consistently, okay, going part by part, depending on, I think I divide into 3 sections, the lower, the middle, and the upper. So if you continuously do it, trust me, this is a very, very good form of relaxation, okay. It brings around overall wellness eventually. Of course, nothing happens or no results happen in a day or two, okay. Everything is progressive, okay. That's why it's called progressive muscle relaxation, because you will progress over the days or the weeks when you continuously do it, okay. Best done if you do it twice, but it's fine if you don't, okay. But every day, if you can put a little bit of your time in doing this, and it's a very simple task, actually. It's just 2 or 3 seconds just for each muscle group, okay. Or if one day you feel like you just want to concentrate on a particular area, let's say your upper half of your body, or 1/3 of your body, so this part, okay, you just do that. So that's just like, let's say, 5 minutes of your time in a day. Why not, but don't you feel good after that? Don't you feel like, suddenly I feel like I've let something out, I've let all that stress out, and I'm sure that was what you felt after doing the PMR. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's good that you really benefited from it, and you actually took the time to do the entire sequence. Yeah.
So I love that Mei Theng, you said that we have shared a lot of tools. Again, thank you for bringing out all the key points of what HeARTation is all about. It's about practical, simple tips for wins, for small wins, but don't underestimate all the small wins that you make time to create those wins, because they stack up. Right, they stack up. When they stack up, that's when the whole vision of HeARTation for everyone to have joyful living, that's when you materialize. It wouldn't be like magic, and it's not a magic pill, but when you're happy, you will have more of happy moments because of all these practical tools. And when you're feeling down, having all these tools doesn't mean that life suddenly is all sunshine. No, life is as what life will always be. But when you're down, you're no longer afraid. You're like, I know what to do now. Okay, I can know. Should I do this or do that? Right? Life becomes fun even when you're down. If I may say that, because you have tools now that you can play. You have a play box, right? So I'm feeling down. Wow, actually, it's been a while since I do muscle relaxation. Whoa, I think that this is a moment where I really need it. You don't even need to you don't have to stay stressed. You don't have to stay depressed, right? Or should I do this? Or should I self-soothe? Should I appreciate some parts of my body? Should I do a HeARTation breath? Oh my God, so many tools, right? So you're living life from a very different space, right? Because you have all this very practical and science-based simple techniques that can help you in the very moment. You don't even need to I need to see a counselor therapist. So you actually have a lot of resources before you will even reach that level. At this point, I just want to have a shout out at Raveen. Thanks for joining us. You've been with us from the very beginning. And also a shout out to our forum partner, of course. Well, Jonah is here, and Jonah is sending her love. And Jonah, as you know, commented before when we launched your EDM. She was saying that she's really happy, meeting that you're sharing your vibe in this community. And she's also acknowledging you for your effort, right? That what you're doing is not a small win. To her, it's a huge win.
Thank you, Joanna.
And Ling is here as well. Okay, I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're feeling better after your surgery. So your dear friend is feeling very motivated for your morning sharing. So loving all the good vibes that we are spreading.
Thank you, everyone.
So Mei Theng, I know you have shared a little bit about some of the tasks already. So anything else that you want to share? Which challenge so far stood out for you, and what did you realize during the process?
I would say the day 6 one. On day 6, Joy gave a task of like a meditation or directing loving kindness towards self. So I went through the meditation process, and I came away feeling kind of confused because I didn't understand it actually. I didn't understand the experience. I don't know what meanings it holds. So it was on my mind for so many hours. I keep thinking about it, and then it was only close to when I was about to fall asleep that I realized the meaning the experience was trying to tell me, I wouldn't say it was a revelation, but it was more of like it's asking me to, Mei Theng, you have this issue, you need to confront this, you know. So it was the issue of intimacy. So and I believe this is something that a lot of married couples shares, especially women. Once we become mothers, we are busy with work, busy with children, busy with the house, everything. We stop to put effort into maintaining the intimacy between our husband and us. You know, and for myself, actually, this lack of intimacy became more serious. You know, because after I became a mother and started working from home, I also had a miscarriage, and then later I also have breast cancer. So a lot of issues from all these events caused the deepening of the lack of intimacy in my marriage. So what I actually thought of what I actually came that realization was that shortly before I went to bed, right, I was suddenly overwhelmed with this desire to just show my husband an act of love. You know, I just kiss him. You know, I asked him if I can kiss him. I always kiss my girl, actually. I always kiss and hug my girl, but it's just so natural, I feel. But after I become a mom, I never really do this to my husband anymore. Yeah. So I wouldn't say it caused. It wasn't like a simple thing that it solved the issue, but I feel that I'm taking baby steps to improve the situation. You know. Yeah, I think that is most important. That, you know, sometimes it's the first step. You know, we need a lot of courage to make that first step. Yeah.
Exactly. Self-compassion is not easy, actually. If you actually dive deep into your heart, I think you would think like, oh my God, like, you know, how can I be compassionate to myself? It's the hardest thing to do. It was very hard for me to do, you know, and you can offer compassion to others. That's easier to do, you
Yes.
know. But when it comes to yourself, it is just quite a task. I think from even when Joy came up with this idea, and she told me, okay, let's do the self-compassion challenge. I mean, I knew the whole thing. I mean, I knew that, okay, yeah, this is self-compassion and it has all these components. Theoretically, it's very easy to understand. But when I started doing the task, writing the content, and, you know, just going technique by technique and what to put inside, I realized that, my goodness, it's like I do not do half of these things, you know, which I should. I've neglected myself, and just like how, you know, you was slowly certain things like, you know, being intimate with your partner and finding the intimacy, reigniting that level of your married relationship with your spouse. All those things, you know, are something that has taken a back seat. And then you suddenly realize that, okay, you know, and what, just like you had the aha moment, you know, like, okay, Joy's day 6 task got you thinking, okay, this is, you know, probably where I should start practicing, you know, being more closer to my husband or showing acts of love, you know. And I think it resonates for most of us. And for me, it is this whole challenge in itself. When I was doing this, it was, there was a lot of things that actually sparked and came out. It, you know, it was a moment of revelation for me as well, where I felt that it's very easy for me to say things to people, or, you know, I can say things to motivate, but do I actually practice it? And today it's like, you know, yesterday I had a bit of an incident, okay, with my kid, and there were some issues going on, and Joy quickly came in, you know, to my rescue, and she was like, okay, do HeARTation breaths, you know, do your pulse, okay, stay calm. And, you know, and that is the support, you know, that is the support that we all need, you know. And it really, you know, I straight away, you know, zoned in, read that message, and was like, yes, you know, I've already done that. I'm in the process of doing it. I already know. If you would have put me in this situation 2 or 3 months ago, before this whole challenge started, I would totally disregard it, and I would not even, you know, bother to soothe myself, self-soothe. That's one of it, yeah, and be mindful to my thoughts and my emotions at that time. So thank you, Joy. I mean, yesterday was like, you know, it was just like, this shows where, you know, we all coming to help each other. That support is very important, okay? I already know at the back of my head that yes, this is what I should do. Mei Theng, you already knew at the back of the head, this is what I should do. I have been not being available for my spouse, or I just take him for granted sometimes. I know he's there, I know he's supporting me. Okay, and so my attention should be to my daughter. In your case, so yeah. But in the whole process, it's like these kind of little things, all these tools and techniques, just kind of give you that zap. You just zap out in the moment. You're like, yes, I need to do this. Why have I not done this before? So, as I said, it's a lot of complementary help and support going on, which I believe has helped all of us in the process. Yeah. So, what do you say, Shah? Yeah.
So, my dear ladies, I just want to say thank you, because what all of you are sharing are very private, very vulnerable stuff. I would say even very personal, but you're willing to share it, your struggles. So as I've said, like our challenge is not like there's so many challenges out there, but they're all more like very external stuff, But the challenge that we're doing in HeARTation is well, at least so far, it's really deep, it's go beyond like, have you been exercising, in terms of well-being, have you been eating well? Oh, we're going another level altogether. We're not talking about all these things as important, but most people will not have any issue sharing. We're talking about very deep stuff, and we're talking about stuff that can even trigger shame. We're talking about stuff that will that you have to bring up your limiting stories, that these are ugly things. Let's face it, right? These are where you will have all those feelings that you might be suppressing, right? But now I'm asking you, can you work on it? And not just work on it. Hey, we have a community. Do you mind sharing it? So I know in my heart that I'm asking a lot. And I know in my heart that it will take time to build this community, because only the brave, only the courageous would be able to feel comfortable here. Right? Even the courageous is not going to feel courageous every day. I don't wake up every day and feel courageous about the task I'm asking you to do. Let's face it, we're all vulnerable, we're all human. And that's the beauty of this community. So on one level, we might have come in, no idea what even mindfulness truly means, right? In a lived experience, right? So you come in, then you learn what it means, you learn what it means for you, and then on the next level, now you have tools that goes to accompany this learning. Oh, so mindfulness means I can, I can do this exercise, appreciate my hand. Oh, I can brush my teeth with my non-dominant hand just as a mindfulness. Also, now you're introduced to a world of techniques, right? So this is the second level. But then the third level is you have to face yourself in the mirror. Like Mei Theng said, I mean, it's not new, but it's always at the back of my head. But then I don't know what is this exercise, this meditation, I get confused. And then the whole day, the mind is just like, what is this? What is this? Isn't that exciting? Every time the mind is confused, get excited, because you're at the verge of finding something very important about yourself. This is what I always tell myself, because confusion is not a nice space. Right, because there's cognitive dissonance. The mind always wants to know what's going on. No, tell me what's going on, because it's wired inside our survival instinct. We need to know what's going on, right? That's why we also have negative bias. It's wired in our survival. We don't like the feeling of being confused. It's very uncomfortable. No, I need to understand. But because of that, your whole mind, your conscious and your subconscious mind will be activated, trying desperately to find an answer to what is this thing? I don't like this feeling, confusion. It is actually exciting when you're confused, even if it feels frustration, even if you feel angry. Why I just don't get it, but it will come. You just stay at it, it will come. And then for you, it came quite quickly, right? At night, you already know, this is why I'm confused. This is why I'm feeling like that. And this is an issue that I know, but I never addressed, because it was never that important, right? And having said that, thank you, because this is a very private thing that you are sharing with us, Mei Theng. So I really want to thank you for your courage. And I know you're coming from a place where let's all learn together. Let's all learn from my pain, my suffering, or maybe even my shame. So I appreciate that courage, and that's what I want to build more of, right, in our community. This like, well, Funny enough, for She Network today is Fearless Friday. Exactly, right? Being able to look at your shame in the face. If that's not courage, I don't know what is. Right? To be able to look at your shame in the face and say, yes, you know, I kind of not doing so well in this area, but let me do something. And guess what? In that night itself, the moment you realize it, you're like, you know, you already did the first step. You're like, you know, going to your husband and saying, you know, can I hug you? That is huge. That is huge. I'm not sure if you know the impact, the significance of what you did. You immediately took action. You didn't just realize it and then like, oh, okay, fine. And then you walk off, right? Again, you showed up, Mei Theng. Again, you took action. In that very moment, you're like, okay, well, this is a kind of a big issue. It's been around for a while. I can't solve it overnight, but what I can do now, oh, I can give him a hug. I mean, that's awesome, right? You're building all this powerful momentum and you're doing this all by ourselves. All me and Priya did this. We just say today do this, tomorrow do that. That's all we did. But whether you do or not, at the end of the day, it's up to the individual. And you repeatedly show up. You not only show up, you're sharing with us what you did. And you have to understand how infectious that is, because fear is infectious, so is courage. So thank you for always being so vulnerable. Every time you go on a Facebook Live, you will say something that make all of us go, because it's so pure and open and like, this is my wound, look at me. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, right? So I'm so glad that I persisted. I'm not sure if I pestered you into this challenge, but I'm so proud of my persistence because this is so good. You see how every one of us have grown because of the conversation, the realization, individually, collectively. Some of the experience we didn't experience ourselves, but because someone else in the community shared it, we have grown as a result of it. And even in this moment, as I'm saying this, like, you know, my hair behind my neck, on my neck is like standing on end. This is the power of this sharing. Can you imagine 1 year from now? Hello, my dears, we are going to be very different people. Right, if we continue to show up like that and continue to do the task, show up for ourselves, and then share our journey, share our shame. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's like it's pandemic, but I've never felt stronger because of this community and because of all the things that we've been getting up to. So thank you, Mei Theng. And I know that you also had 2 tasks that you wanted to reflect on. One was day 5 on self-appreciation. What was your realization on that?
So when you ask us to write down the 10 things that we like about ourselves, actually that comes very easily for me. But the only thing is that when I look at on my list, I realized that what I have listed down were actually my soft skills. You know, things that, you know, I don't know. You know, when you go and interview for a job, you often say things like you achieve that things that people society recognize. Like maybe you were awarded a grant, a scholarship, you know, things like that. Those are like your achievement, you know. And then what I look at is like, hey, I have all these soft skills. So which brings back one of the things that I always been maybe I would say a regret lah. In a way, I have also shame associated with it. Was that I make a lot of choices throughout my working years that deviates from the career that I have envisioned. You know, every time I graduated from a bachelor degree and then later from a master's degree, you know, on the convocation day, you always have these speeches from your peers that, oh, you know, we are going to go out and do something amazing. Maybe sometimes what I have done wasn't entirely that amazing. Like, I mean, I wasn't on any I don't know, list of maybe 10 inspirational women or whatever kind of thing. I mean, things like that. But I realized that it is those soft skills that I gained through my experiences that make me who I am today. Because when I look back on myself, right, when I'm in my early 20s, I was not a resilient person. I was really very, I would say, how to say, changes would scare me, you know. But now I can see that actually now I'm facing a lot of challenges in not only just my health challenges, but I do find that on most days I'm quite calm, you know. It's like I feel like my emotions, I would say that the problems that I have, the challenges that I have are like it's like a turbulent ocean. Yet I'm this calm ship that is unmoved by the turbulence, you know. Yeah. That was this feeling that I have.
Yeah. So I think that is very much associated with, I think, what you shared with us on the day 3 challenge, which was Joy's task, and also I think the personality assessment, where you said
Yes.
previously you were a type A, and
Mm.
now you're obviously a type B. You've become calm, over the course of all your experiences and all the challenges that you've faced in your life. You've, surprisingly come to a B, which is where you're actually in a very good place. So you see how you have brought and channeled yourself into it. Just a matter of, switching your personalities. Okay, your main core personality will always be same and unchanged, but these are all, the suburban effects where, complementary factors come into play. So previously, the job or career that you had probably took a toll on you. Okay, and hence, or the life you were leading was very stressful and very dynamic and impactful in, your own way. But then now look at you, where you've come. Of course, the main challenge was fighting your CA and coming out stronger than ever. Okay, with that, and then now you've come to a place of calm, peaceful realization, so inspirational. I think one of the most inspirational people I have come to see so far in my life. I'm serious. It's like, of course, I do cross paths with many wonderful human beings in my line of work. Okay, and meeting you are just one of them, and you're
Thank
so
you.
inspirational. Okay, to me, I talk about you so often to my contacts, my friends, you know, um, because I feel like, like I need to share your story. You have so much to share. You have so much to, give. In the process, I have learned from you. Our community has learned from you, and I'm sure in the future, continue making waves, continue spreading your journey, continue spreading all that positivity. Your challenges or whatever you faced in life is a good thing because it's made you who you are today, right? So for that, I really am grateful that we crossed paths, okay, on this platform. From the time I saw you in October, virtually, we haven't physically met, of course, but
Yes.
yeah, hopefully once this whole pandemic is, under control, then yeah, I would definitely love to meet up and, be more involved with all that you do and your community with Eiling, and of course Joy. So thank you for coming on this and sharing. As Joy said, this is your vulnerability has actually sparked so much of um, it taps into the other person's mind. Be like, like if she can do it, why can't I? If she has that power and that will, in spite all that she's gone through, if she can do it, why can't I? So I hope people take that as an inspiration and move forward with that. Thank you, meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Ria. Actually, when you mentioned about the personality test, it was also one of the things that stood out to me because I can feel in myself as I being nearing to the end of my treatment journey. I can just feel I might go back to being type A. Like there's this desire to I want to catch back all the things that I missed out. So I'm really learning how to strike a balance. So I actually I a few days ago I had to say no to a friend because I feel that I couldn't take on an additional task, because
Mhm.
I feel that last time I used to spread myself so thin, I barely have time for myself, you know. So I feel that to move forward, I want to strike a balance, like it has to be me, my needs, and also my others, caring for others' needs. You have to strike a balance. I guess I have to
Absolutely.
continue to be very mindful of my thoughts, of my how to say, very consciously making a lot of decisions or feedback to
Yes.
myself, with
Yes.
self-reflection.
Yes. And you're already
And
making that in the
not go back
process.
to
Yeah.
type A.
Correct. Type A is not
Because I
bad,
think
but
even as a parent,
yeah.
because I think a type A parent is not very healthy also for the children.
Yes, that I agree. That I agree because I was, probably in the type A category as well many moons ago. So I totally resonate with you on that. Yeah. Yeah. And it's better to be a type B when you're bringing up a family, especially with little ones where there's bound to be a lot of challenges and chaotic scenarios and stuff like that. I think it's always better to be on a type B scale than a type A, because you're charged up, you know, your kids are charged up, your whole family dynamics is a charged up situation, which might prove to be unhealthy in some sort of way. Yeah.
Mei Theng, I want to acknowledge you for taking care of yourself. Not just that, you know, learning to say no, because when you say no, you're already saying more yes to the things that really matters to you. So I am observing that, correct me if I'm wrong, that you are making very different decisions now than you know that you would have made in the past. You know, it sounds like you would have said yes, but then you decide to say no, because now you have this mindfulness, and then you're also very conscious of the self-care piece. So that's very beautiful to be, not just have that self-awareness. As a result of the self-awareness, you know, all these challenges that we've been doing together, you're now making very different decisions for yourself. You know, there is a lot of repercussions of that, because you just continue going to make decisions from more of a place of greater self-awareness. And not just that, this is what you're doing currently to manage yourself in a daily life. On top of it, I also see on another level that you're already projecting, okay, oh, you know, like, so this is where I am. I'm finishing my treatments. Then after this is just what's next. Okay, I think I'm going to go back to type A. You know, I can really foresee it. Okay, I have to be mindful of that. So you're already projecting potential challenges, you know, or your own behavior. I might veer into this, which is might not be so healthy for my well-being. You're really knowing that, and then with that again, great self-awareness speech. You're like, okay, I better put all this in place so that I don't go back to type A, and then stress come back, and then all the things that I don't want in my life coming back, right? So like on so many levels of your life, I see what you've been working so hard on, you know, working on all the tasks, on all the different challenges, and this is the outcome. You're becoming a very different person, and I hope you can see that. You're becoming a very self-aware person, not just caring for other people, caring for yourself. And as a result of caring for yourself, you also realize, hey, you know what? Wait a minute. Not so good to be this type of parent. But if based on this task that I did, this personality assessment, wow, you know, like I think I should make sure I stay here for my child's sake, right? So from your self-care work, working on your own inner self, taking care of your own inner child, I can see how you are also making very different decisions, not just for yourself in the present moment, but for yourself in the future moment, but also for your child, right? You see how just working on all these tasks faithfully the last few months, you are responding differently, you're thinking differently because of your experiences from doing all these different challenges. So I feel very happy for you, Mei Theng, because it seems like you're now surrounded by a lot more simple tools that's easily available. It is top of mind right now for you because you've been doing all this stuff, which is also something that I wanted to highlight earlier. Is on one level is not knowing what is mindfulness, not knowing what is self-compassion, right? Then coming in, understanding the concept, living it. And then the next level is the tools and the techniques that we teach in HeARTation, right? The challenge, actually doing the task, being willing to make time every day to do the task. Like you say, it takes only about 10 to 30 minutes every day, right? Then the third level is, I think, being able to, being able to apply it as and when. It's no longer about, oh, today I'm supposed to do this, but to be able to like, oh, that time I did this, I think I need it now, right? Nobody asking you to do it, but you're able to like extract, right? And like, oh, apply. So solution solving, using things that you have learned. That is stage 3, right? And this is where, that's why I've always said, when you learn HeARTation training, peak performance, joyful living, wow, sounds like, wow, unattainable, sounds so nice, right? But how? But when you apply HeARTation training, it's completely possible, right? Because when you look at something so far, of course it looks unreachable, but every day you learn a little bit. Every day you learn a little bit, right? And then every day you apply a little bit, or apply a different solution. Different situation, but using the same tool. Oh, so this one doesn't just work for this situation. When I'm in this other situation, I can use that tool also, right? Having that, experimentation, embodiment of those tools in your own life, and then able to teach that to your kids, right? Come, let's do this. Okay, you put your hand on your heart. Okay, your kids are maybe injured themselves. They're like teaching your kid how to self-soothe. Why? Because you've learned it yourself and you know the power, right? And then you're able to share that tool, share the HeARTation tool with the people around, people that you care about. You know, that's like the ultimate gift you can give to people you love. Not just our presence. We will never be there for them all the time, because that is life. But to know that even when you're not there, you have given them the resources to be self-reliant, right? That is the power of taking care of ourselves first, because we learn it first. And I'm seeing that, you know, like you are walking the talk, Mei Theng. You are like literally you are like HeARTation ambassador, and I'm really, really happy about how it's like unfolding in your life. It's like you're just blossoming, and you're bringing your family along with you, right? Giving your husband that hug, right? And then making different choices for your child about the education stuff, which you mentioned in your answers, right? So I can really see how taking care of yourself, that benefit has so quickly manifested already outside beyond yourself. You know, that benefit is other people is benefiting because you're taking care of yourself as well. So Mei Theng, what about obstacle? What was your biggest obstacle when you do this challenge, and what did you do to manage those obstacles?
When I was doing the second week of challenge, right, one day I woke up with a bit of a bad news in a way. And it sort of triggered me to be quite emotionally upset. And then later I saw that there was this interview done with Oprah Winfrey interview that Meghan Markle, and she admitted that she had suicidal thoughts, and I noticed that a lot of people actually don't believe her, and that actually further put me down more, because I find that when I reflect on that, I realized that throughout my growing up years, I often been told of how privileged or how lucky I am, you know, and it feels like as though because of that, so I used to cry easily a lot when I was growing up. So I used to be teased about by a lot of people about it. Actually, it seems that any sign of negative emotions from me are shunned, you know, or not, or discouraged, you know. So I guess I grew up thinking that, you know, I don't deserve to show that I'm suffering, or to show that I'm struggling, you know. And I remember that somewhere before I recover, before I save myself in a way, I suddenly thought of this during the sound challenge in the February exercises. I don't know why there was one particular note that stick with me. You know, it was just that do. You just had to do. That's what Cordelia taught us. I don't remember what I said for, but I just felt compelled to do that tone at the time. So I was in my room, and that's what I did. I feel there was like a release of my voice, because sometimes I think when we are struggling or suffering, we tend to be we tend to keep to ourselves. We tend to go really quiet, you know, and that just making that simple tone sort of give me a sense of release, I would say, and it really makes me feel that, you know, yes, I've done this self-compassion challenge. I did a mindfulness challenge last month. It doesn't mean that I'll be a happy-go-lucky from then on. From now on, you know, there will be time that certain things would trigger me into having sadness or having anger. But I feel now that I am more equipped with tools rather than just theories. You know, things that I can apply to myself, and then, you know, I can lift myself up. You know, because sometimes when you have only theories, it seems so abstract. You just don't know how to implement. Yeah, which is why thank you very much, Joy and Priya, that, you know, for giving us these tools that are achievable tools. You know, yeah.
I'm glad that you're using it to your best benefit. I mean, that's the idea of this challenge. That's the idea behind the HeARTation challenges. In fact, from January till now, next month ongoing as well. So, you know, situations are bound to crop up. This is our life. We are human beings. We are faced with these situations. Life is not perfect, as we all know. But when we come together and we do these kind of tasks and challenges, or we enroll for these kind of courses or programs, it's not for everyone. That I will agree. It's not for everyone. Some people just do not click with this kind of things. For them, they feel that their release is in other forms, But some of us, do really uh, get a lot of ideas. We get a lot of knowledge. We get a lot of information when we do this kind of things. And I think for you, Mei Theng, it has really gone well. Okay, I think you started off with Cordelia's mindfulness task, and then Joy's mindfulness task as well last month, and then you progressed on to this month with us. And I think you're a very classic example of learning how to use the tools and techniques that have been shared very well and very wisely. And so you know how to identify your trigger points, as what you said just now. um, okay, not all these tools can be used at one time. Okay, there are certain points where I might use it, I might not use it. Some of it I'll probably keep it in the back seat. It'll probably resurface after a couple of months. Doesn't matter. But the idea here is, to let everyone know that, what, when you are going through, some sort of a turbulent time, or, you're faced with a situation that's very challenging, yes, some of these tools do come into play. Okay, and they're very effective if done properly. And the idea behind this is you should believe in what you do. You should believe. So there's no point in doing something for the sake of doing it, right? Meeting, as you said, like you are a classic example of how you believe in that. If Joy were to give you a task, let's say the day 1 or day 2 task, okay, self-soothe, all your HeARTation breaths and your HeARTation pulses and your meditation, okay, it's not for everyone, okay, but some of us do, click with that idea, and we know how to use that. We know how to use that to the fullest, which helps us. Okay, so I'm glad that some of these techniques that we have shared has helped you immensely. Okay, in fact, you've also got your own twist to some of the techniques which we are also learning from you. All right, and that is basically the idea behind this whole thing, where it's, as I said before, it's very complementary. So yeah, this is, even though you did find obstacles, and you had your trigger points, but it's in a good way. It made you realize, it made you reflect, it made you take action, because you're equipped with this knowledge, with the information, with these tools or techniques that have been, that have been coming since last month. Yeah.
Thank you.
So Mei Theng, tell us a bit about your girls' educational experience. Like it seems like something about the self-compassion challenge has informed you as a mother what kind of decisions you want to make for your child's education. I thought that was very interesting.
So it happens that when we start this challenge, it was also the time that I need to make a decision of submitting my child's application for primary school. So at the moment we are saying for this is Chinese school, but I have this thinking to myself, upon reflecting based on the exercises that we have done, I find that sometimes, obviously, or not, I don't know obviously or not, but my educational experience has definitely shaped some of the issues that I have, from feeling disappointed with my working life, things like that, or how do I view my achievements before. I realized I wanted something different for my girl. I would like her to have more holistic education, something that would not just celebrate her academic excellence, but also her other things, her other soft skills. Like one of the things that I found was that actually now I really enjoying my loom knitting and my crocheting, because actually these are the things that I really want to do when I was younger, but I never got a chance to learn because this arts kind of thing I always considered as how's that, a waste of time. Like if you have any extra time, you should go and study. I always feel that's what I was brought up in. So I have actually taught my girl how to do finger knitting, although she enjoys it on and off lah. But then I feel that it was good to introduce her. and to tell her that, you know, this is something that we can enjoy doing, you know. So it has given me a lot of thoughts, and I feel that I am now more open to seeking other options, you know. Previously, maybe I would feel like maybe it's not for me, it's so out of the conventional. Yeah. So hopefully, I think it'd be the first person I need to get on board will be my husband to make sure we have the same expectation of our child's education experience, you know. I think that's the most important thing. So I'm glad that he has agreed. I actually signed us up for an open day, so it's going to be on next Saturday. I'm glad that he's open to, you know, exploring this with me. So we'll see how it goes, but definitely something that I've been sharing with him, you know. Because sometimes it's how to say, I find that I have always been misunderstood, that, you know, oh, when I have a child, that my child would go to the best school, but that best school is usually measured in the status, you know, in that school status, or the amount of tuition fees that the school charges. I realized that my definition is not that, you know, that the school may be the best in terms of maybe is probably the number one in the country or something like that, top one or whatever. But I want to know what the school practices, what the school values. You know, these are the things that are more important to me than the number of straight A students that have every year. You know. So hopefully I can find that for my girl here. Yes. Because I really feel that sometimes we as parents, we actually influence, we are actually the strongest and the earliest influence of our children's life. You know. So yeah. I mean a lot of times I feel that all this kind of self-discovery is very good for myself, because then I can either share these tools with my girl as she gets older, or, you know, to influence her in a way that she can she can grow to be a better woman than I am, or a better human than I am, you know.
Yeah, you're very in tune with your needs, with your family's needs, you know, and that's very important. There's no right or wrong meeting, as you know that by now. Okay, of course, you know, generalization, overgeneralization by community, by society, on which school to send and everything will always be there. You know, we all grew up in it. It's ongoing, and but whatever decision that you make, you believe it's the right decision, and you know, keep on in that faith, and it will take you and your family places, especially for your little girl. Okay, if you feel that this is the best for her and your husband is on board with it, you know, no one can stop your thought process, because you know you're doing the best. At the end of the day, you're not doing the worst for your family or worst for your kid. So you have a focus. You already know, you've done the homework, you've studied the whole process. So yeah, charge on. You know, it's like you know what's best. You know what's best for yourself and your family. Yeah.
So, Mei Theng, you have demonstrated how the power of self-compassion goes beyond ourselves. It actually influences and affects the people around us. You've shown the power of a mother who's willing to work on her own self-compassion, how that makes her a more nurturing, better influence for her daughter. So I think this is a very, very significant point that all mothers need to bear in mind. You should do it for yourself, but also take note that the ripple effect is going to be there, and the ripple effect is where the real power is. So moving forward, Mei Theng, how do you intend to continue this amazing journey that you already have started, you know, continue to cultivate this nurturing relationship with yourself?
I feel that now I'm ready to take on the course that I already paid for, you know. The one that I paid for earlier this year, and I have ignored it. I feel more ready to learn more, to discover more about myself. Maybe more the ugly side, you know. In fact, actually, I felt so what happened was that a few months ago I noticed there was going to be this book. It's called The Cancer Misfit. It's coming out this month. And coincidentally, last night I was searching on my Kindle, and I was really surprised that it only cost $1.99. So I already bought the book, so now I can read it now.
Oh.
I feel that, I
Nice.
mean, in a way that because of these small steps, right, you already climbed small hills, you know. So now I'm ready for the mountain.
Awesome.
That's how I feel
Well
now.
done.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Sometimes
So
you,
in
you
fact,
just, like that subconscious, part of you just, you're on autopilot mode now, because you've everything already there. Now it's all about
Yes.
just setting and you're letting it out. So, you're subconsciously is actually doing a lot of things.
yes.
Yeah.
And actually, last night also I actually, so when I started to do my loom knitting really well, I wanted to do something called knitted knockers. So I think it was in December when I bought the loom kit and the yarn, but I had a lot of problem with the pattern because the way that it was knitted, right, it was hurting my fingers. It was really tight. So then I learned crochet maybe about 2 weeks ago only. And then last night I actually attempted to do the crochet pattern for the knitted knockers, and I'm almost finishing up. I feel really actually I don't know, I feel really proud and happy for myself, you know. I mean, I probably to a lot of people it's nothing, but I feel that this is something that I wanted to do after I learned how to, do this yarn crafting, to learn ways of how my craft can benefit others. Yeah. So I'm really happy that I've done this, and I can, hopefully I can do a lot more, even putting myself into more self challenges, Yes.
I love your momentum, Mei Theng. Like you are really demonstrating to everyone who is watching how in a few short months, if you just continue to take small, continued action and have the support of a community, you can really move mountains. And you just started that thing like what, last night? That's crazy. And you started what, crochet 2 months ago? You're joking.
So just 2 weeks only.
2 weeks.
Only 2 weeks ago.
There you go. Yeah, you're making my point. Like just the power of intention, action, and putting yourself in the right environment, right? To having the support. You don't need a long time for things to move. Now you have this momentum. I can sense you're energetic, you are zesty. I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to make all these plans and ideas for my daughter, and I want to work on this thing with my husband. It is like your life is so exciting right now, so fulfilling. But it is a joyful life because you are pursuing things that you want. You even say no to certain things that you would have said yes in the past, so that you can make time for all of these things that really matters to you. So thank you, Mei Theng, for sharing all this with us. And you have, as always, been an inspiration to all of us. I hope that we can hear more from you moving forward, as we move forward and grow together. So, Mei Theng, I think you're really quite a perfect person to ask this question. So, what is your advice for people who is now ready or curious or hesitant about starting this loving journey back into themselves? What would be your advice?
The first thing I would say is that find a person that you can click with. You need to find someone whose technique works, resonates with you. The aura resonates with you. You don't want to find someone who is so, who is forceful.
Too fast.
I said this because in 2019 I attended like a 1-day retreat kind of thing. So we have 2 trainers. So these 2 trainers have different energies, different auras. And I find that myself, I was preferring the aura of another person than the other. Like as we seem to click more, I was able to share easily with her. So which probably bring to mind, like, why I continue to participate in Joyce Your Challenges, because I like how we click, So I think that's very important. Like even let's say, for example, when we go and see a doctor, if you don't click with that doctor, right, whatever advice that doctor gives you, right, you wouldn't bother. Okay, I said this because when I bring my mom to see a doctor a few years ago, I brought her to a few specialists who are like on the high list of my recommended by my peers, and my mom would say, no, I don't like this doctor, doesn't look Joe, doesn't smile. Then there will be some other doctors, oh, I really like this doctor, I will listen to him. I can see the difference. So when it comes to working things that are so intimate within ourselves, you need to find someone that you are comfortable with. I think that is so important. I'm sure, Dr. Priya, I think in your line of work, that happens in your line of work too, right? You have
Yes,
clients who are so
definitely.
comfortable to you that you can make a lot of breakthroughs with them,
Yes.
right?
Of course, not everyone clicks as what you say. Even the clicking for me or from them, even with patients, yeah. So with patients also, it's like, yeah, there are some patients who just have that, energy with you when you're consulting them, and then with the clients as well. All my counseling clients, some of them will be just present for like a session, and then session 2 and 3 you don't see them anymore, and you probably understand why, because there's just something that doesn't click between us. Okay, because I don't bring that same aura to everybody. It's different. It's individualized, or it's personalized. So I totally understand where you're coming from. Yeah, and I'm glad that you like this whole setup. And you click very well with the HeARTation setup with Joy. And just like you, I also click very well with Joy, and that's why I'm still here. So Joy, you're doing something good here.
Yes, we are doing something good here, and
Yes,
we
yeah,
are really
yes.
also expanding that goodness, spreading it outwards, getting other people to join in. So that's a really wonderful note for us to end our amazing time together. Mei Theng, as
I have another
always.
tip, yes. I
Okay,
forgot to
yes,
share the other tip.
Yeah.
So,
important
when it
one.
comes to working something within yourself, you really need to have your courage. And you must really think of your effort in doing this as an investment on yourself, on your happiness. When I asked a friend to come on to this self-compassion challenge, she actually asked me, like, what do I gain from this? Like, I think for someone who is for a lot of people, when you are busy with your life or you're going through a lot of challenges, you might think that, what is this concept of self-compassion? Why do I need to work on this? Is this some sort of I don't know, a cult, or is it something that is like very hippie,
Self-compassion cow. Sounds good.
Nice.
It's so hippie that it's maybe it's not it's not worth my time, But when you think that you are working with something that is on your own, you're discovering more about yourself so that you can live happier, This is actually your investment, the return will be you're living a better life.
Oh wow, wonderful! Wow,
Of course,
I
you need
love
to start
that.
with the courage. You need to have the courage, and you need to, your mindset have to be the correct one, so that you can accept the revelation that will come to you,
I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. It's like
Right, like
investment.
this is
So
our
yeah,
HeARTation ambassador. She said it. Oh, I don't have to say anything. I'm really happy about that. I don't have to say anything. Like she said it, and she said it so beautifully.
yeah, beautiful. Seriously.
Thank you, Mei Theng. As
Thank you very
always,
much.
it's been a very fun, very heartful conversation that we're having in the morning. It's just going to make the rest of my day and weekend so beautiful. So thank you, ladies. I'm really enjoying this community, and with two of my favorite ladies. Like, what can I say? It's going to be a great weekend. So now let's end our wonderful time together with the HeARTation pose. Here we go. Okay, thank you everyone for watching. Please comment and share what's your insight from Mei Theng sharing. Okay, everybody, happy weekend, and don't forget we have another session at 5 p.m. with Sarah Maya. Okay, take care everyone. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.